And boom, let's just do that. Get it live streaming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are lift off. There we go. So now let's get back here. And welcome everyone. Thank you so much all for joining us. Really excited to be back after a couple of weeks. Let me just do the recording here as well. Done. So thank you everyone. Sharon, happy birthday.
Thank you.
What are you, 21 again?
Of course.
There you go.
Of course. Of
Love
course.
Absolutely
you know
awesome.
what? I woke up yesterday thinking how blinking blessed I am. Healthy,
I know, right?
getting wealthy, wiser by the minute. I'm just a lucky lady.
Aren't we blessed to be in this life, eh?
I'm very blessed.
Congratulations. Congratulations indeed. Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, darling.
There you go. So welcome everyone. My name's Kalpesh Patel. It's a pleasure and an honor to be your host tonight on Nuts and Bolts. And this is my, what is it? Third week. So I missed 2 in a row. That's very unlike me, but I missed 2. One, I was traveling from Thailand to Dubai, and the next one, I was out for the count. I was sick as a pup. And anyway, I'm back, recovered, healed, ready to rock and roll. I want to do something a little bit different today. So I want to give the audience a chance to interact a lot more. I want today to be about, like, if you could think of a couple of lines, door openers. Let's talk about door openers. That little elevator pitch, if you like, or that 60 seconds of what do you say? How do you get somebody's attention? How do you get them to engage in a conversation? I want to hear some of the things that you say to get people's attention. I want to hear from people in the field. How do you get people curious, get them interested, get them engaged in a conversation? Because that's a skill in itself, right? Something that we don't want to take for granted. So I want to touch a little bit on that. What are some of the things that we can say? And all of us should write those things down and practice them over and over and over again until they become second nature. So when you are in a situation, then you've got some lines ready to say, rather than umming and ahhing and fumbling around and trying to kind of work out, second guess yourself, work out, what can I say? How should I say it? How do I bring this into a conversation? So it'd be really great to hear what's working for some of you guys. So let me do the honors of allowing people to unmute. Only unmute when you're ready to share something, but I'd love to hear from you guys. And I'll kick off with an example. So one of the things that I like to say often is, for example, I might say something like, let's draw one of mine. Diz, listen, very quickly, I'm got a whole bunch of people to call, but you're top of my list as always. Lots of love and respect for our friendship. I've stumbled across something that's generating incredible results, and it's creating wealth for a lot of people. Can I grab half an hour of your attention? And Dizzy would say,
yeah, you got me.
Because what are you going to say to that? Like, you'd have to be really out of your way, self-destructive to say, nah, you're all right, mate. Do you know what I mean? You'd have to be a complete self-destruct mechanism to refuse such an offer. So you want to, when you're speaking to people, think in terms of they are making decisions based on what you're saying. So you want to ask them questions, or you want to make statements that are leading them to the answer that is obvious. All right. So give them the obvious answer. So Dizzy, you've got your hand up. Do you want to give us an example of? Yes, I know you've got loads of these, but yeah, just give it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I always, it happens all the time, is I'll ask somebody what they do for a living.
Yeah.
And naturally they ask me, and my line is, I used to be a barber, now I do crypto.
Boom.
And that's
short and simple, right? So beautifully said. Every time you ask somebody in life what they do, once they finish telling you, it's like 9 out of 10 times, isn't it? Unless you're talking to somebody that's completely self-centered, doesn't care about anyone else, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to ask you what you do. It's kind of a natural progression. So keeping it natural. Can you see that? Keeping it natural is another way. Really nice and smooth. What do you do? Da, 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 da. Oh, great. And then just wait for the conversation to end. And then the response to when they ask you, what do you do? Short and sweet. I used to be a barber and now I'm in crypto. Boom. Why is that so powerful? Curiosity. Curiosity, but also here's where I was, here I am now, progress, right? And that I used to be a barber lets them think, well, hold on, I'm an XYZ, whatever it is. And if he went from there to there, I could take myself from here to there. So again, there's relatability. It's simple. It's to the point. It speaks to everybody. So fantastic. Sue, what have you got up your sleeve?
Hi, Kalpesh. Hi, everyone. So when people say to me, like, what do you do? I say that I'm a crypto trainer.
Boom.
And, they'd be like, oh, that's interesting. So they say, well, what do you do? I said, yeah, I help people get into crypto safely.
Wow. Again, very, very powerful. So what we're using here is buzzwords, right? Crypto is a buzzword. When you use buzzwords, it means that people have already got a reference, whether it's through their social media feeds or general media, news feeds, etc. Crypto is a word that's got the attention of the world. Good, bad, and ugly doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. What their opinion is, what they think about it is irrelevant at that point, because what we know for a fact, and always use the facts as your reference, what we know for a fact is a touch over 4% of the population is involved. So that means 96% of people don't understand it, because anyone that understands it is involved. Do you get that? So we can conclude that 96% of the population either doesn't understand crypto or is too fearful to get involved. So what did Sue say there? I help people. Oh, alarm bells, help. Who doesn't like help? I help people get into crypto, buzzword, in a safe and secure way. Oh, that gets my fear barriers down. That's what I've been waiting for, isn't it? In a safe and secure manner. Oh, that was the missing piece. I've been wanting to get in, haven't had a clue, been a bit fearful, been a bit scared, been a bit concerned, don't quite get it. And here's somebody that does this for a living. They help people like me to get in. Wow, I'm in. So again, short statement, but it speaks on multiple levels. All right. And, once you start digging into this stuff, you'll start realizing how you can use language and use words and use sentences to hit people on multiple levels. Yeah. That's kind of the name of the game. The more, if you like, different points, touch points that you have in a sentence, the more likely they're going to grab one of them, right? So don't have one touch point, have 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that spring out of a sentence, and you've got much more spread, if you like, in terms of them responding back with the positive response that you're looking for, right? They're going to say what you want them to say, in effect. Sharon.
Hi. Yeah, what I generally tell people is say, I lead a community and I teach people very much like so, teach people how to get involved in crypto safely, securely, with regulated and licensed products and services. And, that's what I do. Oh, I'm also, and most people, if you mention all them together, it tends to pique their interest, definitely. And then I'll say, and people will say, oh, I need to speak to you. I've told you, call me and I'll help you.
Yes.
I'll help you get set up. And also I teach people how to make an income online,
Nice and easy. Look at that. That's another.
I add that on the end.
There you go. So you've got, again, loads of different things there, helping people make money online.
Yeah.
Again, we know that everybody on the planet lives on social media. Literally, everybody on the planet today lives on social media. This is how everybody on the planet looks today, whether they're on the way to work, whether they're sitting on the toilet, sitting in a bath, doesn't matter. This way, everybody's doing this all day long. That's all they're doing. And what are they watching? Lifestyle. It's lifestyle everywhere. people making money online. Oh, wow. What? You do that? I've seen loads of people making money online. I haven't got a clue how to do that. You teach people how to do that. I'm in. And then on the crypto side, safe, yes. Secure, yes. Regulated. Brilliant. That's like, again, another fear barrier remover, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I think that sometimes they go, gosh, you're in crypto, yeah. And I'm not sure about that. And then I'll say, well, I've been involved 8 years. And all I will say to you, if you're concerned about making money, I bought properties with it. Really? Yes.
So you're making it practical as well. Like, wow,
Yeah.
hold on. So it's not just this thing over there. You've managed to bring it from there to here. You've turned it into a real life conversation. Now, you bought property with that thing. Yeah. Wow, that is real. So
And
you made it
also-
real for people.
Absolutely. And then also, if you do speak to people that are in crypto, oh, great. What tokens are you supporting? What's your favorites at the moment? And they'll say, mention, I'll go, yeah, well, I'm not really into the hypey stuff because I've seen them work, seen them hype, seen them go. I said, I go for good utility tokens now. That is key for me. And then I'll say, well, at the moment, though, we're in accumulation mode, aren't we? Because we're stacking and racking, aren't we? People educated are stacking at the moment, aren't they? And they'll go, yeah. I said, yeah, but it's down. Oh, that's when you need to be holding it, my friend. Yeah, you have a bit of fun.
Absolutely. That's important, right? So having fun when you're doing it, but also what you've got there, again, you've got lots of experience, you've got different people that you're speaking to. So if you're speaking to somebody that's already in the crypto space, can you see how you can tone it up a bit? You can talk about specifics. You wouldn't say that to the person that's not in, but if somebody's in the space, and say in a way like, I love how you did that, in that it's assumed, right? So you have an assumed conversation with somebody. Oh, yeah, where, this is the time that everyone's stacking it and racking it, right?
Yeah, and they're like,
either they are, and they're going to be like, yeah, or they're not, and they're going, I should be like,
yeah, you should be.
Yeah, like, yeah, everyone's doing that. Okay, yeah. So either way, you're leading them in that direction of, no, you're leading. Like, you come across as authoritative, as your direction, you're clear about the strategy, you're clear about the timing and what needs to happen during this time. So wherever they are, they're going to be like, okay, you know what you're talking about, whatever it is, I'm gravitating towards you. I want to follow in that direction. Yeah. So wonderful. Knowing who you're speaking to and then saying what's relevant to them, what's going to, again, get their attention, get their ears to listen to what you got to say. Who else is going to share some of your experiences? And you can share things that haven't worked as well, right? There's stuff that doesn't work.
I do. I do.
Yeah. Dr. Vinod, hi. How are we doing?
Hi, how are you? We've been missing you. Where have you been hiding for the last 2-3 weeks?
I know, right? I'm back.
It's been
I missed
said.
everyone as well.
My opening line is, hi, how are you? I'm retired now. So they say, what are you doing? I said, I teach people how to make money. And then I kept quiet. And
There
I
you
said, they said, what do you mean? I said, do you have money in the bank? How much do you make per year? 2 to 3%? I'll give you 10% per month in rental income. And then I keep quiet.
All right. The beautiful thing about what Dr. Vinod has said is the opening line. Who doesn't want to make money, right? It's whether people are shy about it or not is a separate conversation. But people that have got money have got it for a reason. People that have money have got it because they like to make money. You can't have money without money liking you. All right. So if they've got money, they like making money because that's why they've got it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have any. And the majority of people you're going to be speaking to don't have more money than they can use. It's normally the other way around. So they are all going to be open to wanting to make more money. Yeah. So Dr. Vinod is helping people make more money. I love
My second line is, I got my gas bill, 1,040 pounds. Did you get your gas bill? She said, yeah, it is 400 pounds. I can show you how you can reduce your gas bill by increasing your income.
Look at that. So again, making it practically, seeing the threads, there's threads through all of this, but making it practical, making it real. This is an emotional tie. What you're doing is you are appealing to their emotional needs. Yeah. Every single person right now can relate. Again, it's a hot topic. People's utility bills right now are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. And I don't even know how it's possible that they've gone the way they've gone so quickly, and how people are going to survive that, because people are already hand to mouth before this happened, before the spike. But what a beautiful conversation opener.
My third line is, oh, tomorrow is the 4th of April, isn't it? I get my pay, 4,000 pounds. 4,000 pounds. That's not my pension. That's my extra income online that I've started new business 6 months ago. Do you want to know more about it? Let me know, and then I keep quiet.
Brilliant. I love the keeping quiet bit. You got to keep quiet once you said your piece. Why is that? Because if you end up talking too much, you lose the impact of what you just said.
I've got 58 people like this on these 4 or 5 lines.
Wow. 58 people in your team.
Yeah.
Just with
In the
this,
last 4 months.
the hooks. Wow, look at
4
that.
months, you know.
So a proven system, short sentences, to the point. The beautiful thing as well, when you're not presenting, you can make statements like, oh, I made £4,000 this month. Nothing wrong with that. People get so scared about incomes and statements like that. As long as you're not doing them during a presentation, at the moment, it's a generic conversation. It's like saying, yeah, my wages are £100,000 a year. Nobody's going to, string you up for saying you've got an income. All right. So it's perfectly fine to make income claims independently of the opportunity. So we're talking about the invitation process here, or the pre-invitation, the qualification. You can talk about what you like. There are no rules and regulations and laws and stipulations. There's nothing in the way. Do not operate out of fear. There's nothing. You can speak about whatever you want, anything you want, when you're having an introduction with somebody, when you're opening the door. The point at which you've got to be careful about the language you use, the terminology, and how you portray is when you present the information. That's a whole different set of rules and regulations and processes that you've got to follow when you are presenting the information, to do it in a correct and legal and compliant manner. 100% follow the rules, follow the structure, follow the format when you're doing that. But anything preamble, it's your world. Do whatever you want. Be cool with it. People like talking about money. Talk about whatever you fancy. Whether it's, we call them hot buttons. What car are you driving? Would you like to upgrade it? It's fine. Where do you live? Would you like to live in a better location? How often do you travel? Would you like to travel more often? Whatever it might be, you can talk about lifestyle, you can talk about money, you can talk about income, you can talk about numbers, you can discuss anything you want to with people one-to-one as a human being to another human being. When you're presenting the information, all of that stops and you stick to the facts of the proposition. All right. So again, knowing when you can and when you can't say what you can and what you can't say, stuff like that, will help you along the way. But yeah, people love talking about progress. They love talking about upgrading their lifestyle, upgrading their experience of living, financially independent, being financially independent, having financial freedom. Talk about these things. We shy away too often. For me, money is one of the hottest subjects if you know how to talk about it. Be respectful. Don't be derogatory. Always remember that wherever people are at is where they're at. Meet people there. Meet people where they are at. So if they're already doing well, don't be insulting by talking about living hand to mouth. If they're making 70, 80,000 a year, then chances are they're not living hand to mouth. They're not going to be having loads of money like we think. The perception of somebody making £100,000 a year or $100,000 a year is very different to the reality. Trust me, it doesn't last long. I talk about this often. When you're making 100,000 a year, then instead of beer, you drink champagne. And instead of driving a Fiat, you drive a Mercedes or a BMW. And instead of having a rent of £1,000 a month, your rent is £2,000 a month. You're just as broke as everybody else, but it looks a lot nicer. Does that make sense? It just looks a lot nicer. It's a nicer version of broke, but they're just as far from bankruptcy as everybody else. If they lost that 100 grand a year income, they'd be 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months tops away from bankruptcy. All right. So that cliff is not, it might be a little bit further away, but not much. The average person is 3 months away from bankruptcy.
Sad.
That's the reality of life. The average, know this stuff.
Breaks
These are
my
tools
heart,
for
that.
you. Yeah. The average person, if they lost their income, couldn't survive more than 3 months before running out of oxygen. Anxiety, panic attacks, stressed out, edge of the cliff.
My another opening line is, let's get together for a coffee. I got something very interesting. And then keep quiet.
Dr. Vinod is the master of keeping quiet, man.
Then
I
he
love
said, what is it? I said, let's have a coffee. We'll talk over the coffee.
He should write a book
Curiosity.
around
I'll
MLM
come to your house, or
conversations.
you come to my house, or we can go to Costa Coffee.
Yeah. Curiosity is your biggest ally. He didn't say anything, right? What did he say? Nothing. But he's got them wondering. Let's grab coffee. I've got something I want to tell you about. What is it? No, let's meet up. I'll tell you when we meet. They're going to come. They're going to want to know what is it that's, it's the excitement, the tone with which you say it. It's going to get them curious, right? Sue, what were you saying?
I was just saying Dr. Vinod needs to write a book around MLM conversation openers.
He's got them all, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's rolling. Fantastic. So I hope from that little exercise, everybody has written them down. All right. Because they are that simple. Make them yours. They're the same. They're generic. Nobody invents a conversation opener, right? It's the same stuff always. You replace your words. Like, don't say you used to be a barber and now you're in crypto if you've never cut anyone's hair. Then that's not going to work very well. But I used to be, and then drop in whatever it was that you used to be, and now I'm in crypto, right? So you adapt and use all of these things appropriately for you, but they're the same short sentences, short one-liners that create curiosity. They pique interest. They get the person to say yes to meeting you, to jumping on a Zoom, to listening to you, to hearing more, to wanting to know more. That builds up that desire. The old word AIDA, A-I-D-A. All right, Auntie Ida. Auntie Ida is always a nice structure for your conversation. You want to get their attention, you want to get their interest, you want to build up their desire, and then you want to get them to take action, call to action at the end, right? So always remember, AIDA is your structure of a conversation. Get their attention, keep their interest, build up their desire, and then call to action. All right. So there's a nice process to the invitation itself, rather than just doing a bland invite. Are you free on Tuesday? Come to a Zoom. Too bland. Get some excitement, get hooks in there so that they're ready. They can't wait. Like, wow, can't wait till 7 o'clock tonight, or whatever the time is in your country. All right. So brilliant. Now that's one section. Then once that, and again, feel free, anyone else that wants to drop in anything different, if you've got something you want to add, feel free to do that. Once you've got the invitation done, of course, get them to the information. Now, I want to encourage everyone to present always. All right. But if you're crap at presenting, don't do it. But if you're reasonable, do it. Because when you present the information, you can pause in a conversation, you can engage them, you can make it personal. There's so much more you can do in a one-to-one presentation if you're good. All right. You can close people halfway through a presentation. Listen for the buying signals. Some of us don't listen for the buying signals, and we ramble on and on and on. And what happens is when you look at, like, when you study conversations, there are points in a conversation where they're already a yes. And then we carry on and carry on and carry on, and we end up putting a distance between the yes and the action. So really important to be acutely aware of the flow of conversations. All right. Listen for the yes. Even if you're 5 minutes in, if there's a yes, if you're 5 minutes in and they're selling, this is freaking amazing. It's everything I've been looking for. Say, great, let's get you on board and let me show you, behind the scenes. Let me show what the back office is like. Done. Get them onboarded. The presentation, they're going to hear it hundreds of times anyway. It's a tool. The presentation is a tool. You don't have to kill them with presentation material to get them in. When they're ready, get them in. They're going to learn the rest over time anyway. So that's why I love one-to-ones. One-to-ones are powerful. You can close them halfway through part one half the time. They're ready to go. You don't need to go any further than that. Yeah. If you've prepped them, if the invitation was strong, if you've got their desire up, if you've got their interest, if you've got their attention, they're prepped and ready, then the minute they say, wow, this is what I've been looking for, say, great, let's get you started. It's really simple. And again, the assumed that they're coming in. I'm always assuming, if I'm speaking to somebody, my assumption is always that they're in. They're already in before they see anything. They're already in before they see anything. So that way, the minute I'm seeing a yes signal, I'm like, shall we get you onboarded? What's going to happen there? And again, the famous, Dr. Vinod, go silent. Are you ready to get onboarded? Silence. It's like playing chess. My move, your move. My move, your move. It's not just my move, my move, my move, my move, my move. And they're sitting there going, when do I get to have a turn? No, that's interactive. The power of interaction is priceless. All right. So get them to move forward. You take a step forward, they take a step forward. At some point, you'll meet in the middle, bang, sign them up, get them onboarded. So the assumed close means that you've already decided that they're in, and then you give them some options. So you might say something, that's excellent, George. I'm really glad you're loving this. So look, you can get started for as little as 500 and you can go as high as you like. What were you thinking? What level are you thinking of coming in at? Boom. Let them tell you. You can get started for as little as 500 or any amount above that you like. No limit. Bang. Let them tell you. Can I do $1,000 right now? Yeah, of course you can. Do $1,000. Oh, really? No limit? Can I do $5,000? Yep, absolutely. Here's how it works. Let me show you how to do that. So the process feels natural. There's a flow to it. Can you see that? Now, if you're not confident, if you're not competent, if you're not comfortable when it comes to presenting, if you're not a natural, if you're not influential, if you're not a leader in conversations, if you're a second guesser, if you're a doubter, if you're, a stumbler and a fumbler, then don't. Wait until you feel better and more comfortable. Then practice. Practice with your teammates. Practice with people already in your organization or your upline until you feel better about it. But that's where you then can do a launch with your upline. Again, launches are very, very powerful. Why? Because a launch is personal still. It's you and 10, 15, 20 of your mates having a conversation with somebody that you've edified. Yeah. So you bring in an expert. Hey, listen, I want to introduce you to my friend, Dr. Vinod. The guy is a legend. He's retired. And now for fun, he teaches people how to make money part-time. You're going to meet him tonight on a Zoom. Make sure you're there. So it's now, you've edified the presenter, the speaker, the trainer. You bring your people along to the Zoom. Could be 5, 6 people. It doesn't matter. It's your people, your core. All right. So you get your core onto that Zoom, introduce them to your upline, let the upline do the presentation. It's very, very informal. It's very personal. Usually when you've got 5, 6 people, you can open it up. You can have interactive presentation as well. All right. So it can be as formal or informal as you like, but super powerful. All right. So you've got the personal one-to-ones. You've then got the launches where your upline is presenting for you. And then the next is, of course, the big, if you like, presentation, the one that's the whole world comes together at a fixed time during the day. And a couple of things about that, by the way. The importance of showing up to the corporate presentations and really get this message down through your organizations. People do not place enough value on it. So number one, always remember the presentation is for your benefit, not the presenters. That's really important to understand that. The presenters are showing up for you and your guests. They don't need to do that. It's a free service they provide to serve the community. Respect it. How do you respect it? By showing up. Can you see? There's so much power once you understand the dynamics of how things work. The universe is magical. It's very reciprocating. And so when you show up for the team, when you show up for the presenter, when you show your support, when you are there, the universe will find a way to reward you for that stand, for that commitment, for that consistency. It just does. And then here's what starts to happen. When you start showing up, because your subconscious picks up all of your actions. When you're showing up all the time, the subconscious now says, you know what, I can count on you. You're serious about this, aren't you? I know you're serious because your actions are telling me every day that you're serious about this. Guess what? Now, when you invite guests, your tone changes. Your frequency changes. There's conviction and power in your invitation. And naturally over time, again, it's just how the universe works. Call it attraction marketing, call it whatever you like. People gravitate towards you and they'll start showing up as well. Now, it's not a case of just showing up. It's about showing up and then teaching people why showing up works. So training it into your organization as well. So there's an old saying, age old. If you have a guest, then the presentation needs you, right? So you don't just send your guest to a presentation. If you've got guests, the presentation needs you. You need to be there to show your people that that's a system that's working. If you don't have a guest, then you need the presentation. Either way, show up. Some people have this thing, I'll show up when I've got a guest. Other people just show up without guests. That doesn't pay bills either. So the key is showing up no matter what. And when you're showing up no matter what, the likelihood of you inviting guests, because you're going to be there anyway, increases automatically. Cool? Because you just know that you're going to be there. So, hey, you might as well invite somebody while you're going through your day. So that's how you're going to start building that consistency in your organization. And it is about the organization, not just about you. This isn't a lone sport. All right. So learning to teach is a skill in itself. All right. Learning to teach. Each one, teach one. So that's where it starts. So the student becomes the teacher in network marketing on day one. There is no waiting. The day you become a yes is the day you start teaching others through your demonstration, through how you show up, and then also through your sharing of your process, your journey. You're always sharing. Share your experience, share your journey, share your steps so far. Wherever you're at, doesn't matter. Everything you go through, when you share it with your people, there's relatability because they're going to go through it if they haven't already anyway. Do you see that? So when you're new, it's not a case of, oh, I can't teach anyone because I'm too new. Nonsense. The fact is that you sat through a presentation just like the one they're sitting through. So you're one step ahead of them. So you can have that conversation, right? You can say, Andy, do you know what? I'm going to invite you to a presentation tonight. You're going to love the person that's presenting. They're absolutely awesome. And, I saw a presentation just like this a couple of days ago and it blew me away. Bang, relatability. You've made them comfortable. Oh, you're taking them to something that you've already seen, that you've already been to. So the teaching starts straight away on day one. You don't realize, you might not relate to that as teaching, but that's teaching. You with me? You're teaching them that there's a system. You're teaching them that it's duplicatable. You're teaching them that it's simple, that you went through what they're going through. You understand the process. Yeah. So everyone is a teacher from the minute that you start. During the presentation, again, prepare them up front in advance. Make sure you tell them, hey, listen, you might have some questions as you go through the presentation. Just jot them down. We'll happily take them at the end. So prepare them in advance, make them comfortable. And then after the presentation, have some lines ready. All right. So personal presentation, launches with your upline, or big group presentations, whichever works best when it works. And then after the presentation, what do you say? So what are some of the lines that you guys use, if you like? I don't like calling them lines, but they're lines, right? They're sentences. What are some of the sentences? What are some of the things that you say when the presentation's done and you come off and you give them a call after the presentation, what do you say to them? What's the next step? Who wants to share? What do you say to somebody once they've seen a presentation? Dr. Vinod. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any more questions about last night?
Brilliant. Do you have any more questions? Nice and simple, right? Very, very good. Now, when stopping at, do you have any more questions? I would add one more thing.
Okay.
Because the alternate close is very, very powerful. It's most humans want to be led. So if you give them options, they'll choose one. If you don't give them options, they'll make up questions. See, when you say, do you have any questions? They'll feel like they should have questions because there's no other alternative.
Okay.
Do you see? So you can add to that. You say, do you have any questions from the presentation, or are you ready to get started?
Lovely.
If they don't have questions, they're not looking for them. They're going, no, I'm ready to get started. Give them the option. They won't think of that naturally themselves. So always give them an alternative. George. Hey, buddy.
Hey. Yeah,
how we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely amazing. Thank you. And I was going to say is basically, I had a really good question there. Is, oh, yeah, what would you like to learn next?
Brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
What would you like to learn next? Beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, very powerful, because what does it do? It lets you take the temperature. What would you like to learn next? It's an open question in a direction, right? So it's an open question in a direction. What would you like to learn next? It's taking them into the business rather than out of the business. What do I mean by out of the business? A common question a lot of people ask or say, a common thing a lot of people say after a presentation, what did you think? Horrible. You do not want to know what people think, right? I didn't like the guy's tie. I didn't like the way that he wears his shirt, blah, blah, whatever. No, I don't care what you think. We want to talk about the business, right? So thinking is a big, big, vast subject. Never, ever ask people, what did you think? They'll tell you. Didn't like the color of the slides, presentation, the tone was a bit too fast for me. No, they're going to talk about all the things that are not relevant to coming in. So making sure that the question you ask is leading them. People want to be led, leading them in the direction of what they've just seen. All right. So very, very powerful. Well done, George. Love that. Anyone else? What other things do you say?
I would say,
Sharon.
all right, so now we need to teach you how to buy your first crypto.
Boom. Again, assumed close. I always love that, right? Assume they're already in. Great. Let me teach you how to buy crypto.
Yeah.
What are they going to say? No, I don't want to learn. Okay. Temperature, right? Oh, okay. What do you want to learn? What do you want to learn next? But yeah, assume that they're in. Let's get you started. All right. So whatever it is that you're saying, lead them in. All right. The options is always powerful. So I always love that as well. Have you got any more questions, or would you like to get started? That's a very, very powerful one. Yeah. Are you ready to get started? Let's get you started. Cool. The other thing you can do, if the conversation goes off at a tangent, which it often does, all right, because every conversation is unpredictable. We know that. Sometimes it can go off at a tangent. Always rein it back in, right? Bring the conversation always back to the point. If it goes off at too far of a tangent, oh, looks like one of them pyramid selling things and whatever it might be, right? Yeah, I've seen stuff like this. I've heard about stuff like this. People have got burnt, hurt, Stuff happens, right? They go off in a direction. The quicker you can reel that back in, the better. The mind is really, really fickle. Just understand that. The mind is fickle. If they talk too much about that, that's taking them away from what you've shown them, they'll buy into it. That becomes their reality, and they'll forget everything you've just shown them. Doesn't take long. The longer they speak about what doesn't work, the further away the presentation goes from their reference points. So don't be scared to nip it that kind of direction in the bud. So hear them out to a point, but to a point. Don't let it be a big long lecture about it. You get the flavor of the direction they're going in, and then you pull them back in. I'll give you an example. Let's do one. So Sharon, do you want to do a role play with me on that one?
Yeah.
All right, good. So you've seen the presentation, and I'm just going to ask you a question, and just do your going off in a direction for a while, yeah? So Sharon, brilliant presentation. Have you got any questions around that, or are you ready to get started?
Well, I'm not really sure. How long has it been around, Kalpesh?
Do you know what? The ecosystem itself, the first part, 5 years already. They've been building the blockchain. Yeah, it's already got 5 years under this belt.
So have you got to recruit people?
No, not at all.
So, but you've got people can recruit people like a pyramid scheme.
Listen, if you like sharing great ideas with people, absolutely do it to your heart's content. But if you don't, you never have to tell anyone anything.
Okay. I like pyramids, actually.
There you go. In that case, you will just absolutely have a blast here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you've muted. You're supposed to be taking me away from the conversation, not bring yourself back in. Oh, brilliant. But yeah, a way that you can interrupt, if you like, somebody's flow, you might say something like, listen, Diz, I got it. I understand. You've got some concerns, you've got some history, you've got some baggage, you've got some whatever, just whatever, make it relevant to what they're saying. I get that you've got some ideas about this, or you've got some experience in the past about this. Let me just remind you, what I've just shown you is legal, compliant, regulated, and is working already. This is not that.
There's nothing like nothing.
Yeah.
No, you know, we've got transparency. There's no nonsense.
Yeah. So you can very quickly bring them back in and get them refocused. Don't let them go too far off a track too quickly, right? Let them voice a little bit and say, right, I got it. I understand. And reference it. Like when you get something for somebody, repeat it back to them. That way they know that you got it. Yeah. Listen, I understand you've had your fingers burnt in the past, or I understand that you aren't lost some money in something. I understand that you think X, Y, Z, but this is not that. Let's not get the two things confused.
Yeah.
All right. And then another thing that works really well is if you've done the preamble, the more, again, this stuff really works beautifully. The more you invest at the front end, the more you reap at the back end. What do I mean? If at the front end of the conversation, you manage to get into some of the things they want, what are some of their goals, their dreams, their desires, ambitions? If you got any specifics at the front end, they work beautifully as a reminder at the back end. Sharon, you told me before I invite you to the presentation that you would do anything for your kids. And I know that's true because I've watched you in the way you live your life. You'll do anything for your kids. What I've just shown you helps you accelerate everything you want to do for your kids. Bang, you got them back in the zone, back in the game, back in the arena. Sue.
Well, it's very hard. Sorry, Sue. It's very hard for me to really say anything negative because I know what I've got and I can't battle it with you.
I know.
I'm sorry.
You're talking yourself into it.
I'm like, hang on a minute. I can't talk myself out of it. It's impossible. So it's quite difficult if I'm honest.
I know. We have to step into the shoes of the people that don't know.
Oh, God.
Oh, I love it. Sue.
Hi, yeah, I was just going to say that I think what you just said there about, spending more, investing more time and energy in the beginning. Like, I have conversations with people. I talk to them about, why do they want to get into crypto? What is it for them? Really get into their world, understand what they're doing, what they already know about crypto. Like literally, when they come in the presentation, they're already a yes. Like the presentation is just for them to see the community, you know, see someone else presenting, so it's not just my word, you know. So I kind of, it's like it's the shop window, you know, the presentation, right? It's like, I'm going to take you to the shop now. I've told you everything. Now I'm going to take you to the shop to go and buy it. And then, you know, the last bit is just, you know, just like Dr. Vinod and everyone's just shared, like, you know, what questions have you got?
Yeah.
And then box it off. Like, you know, I don't spend too much time. And some of them do have really, you know, genuine questions, which is fine, because they, you know, it was just a run through in the presentation. So I'll answer their questions. But then, you know, when they're asking you these questions, a lot of the time it's because they are keen and they're interested. And then it's a simple case of like, you know, what's the next step? You know, so and then don't let them go off the call and say, oh, we'll arrange another call to do the next step. You just say, okay, let's buy your crypto now. Right. So that's the first step. And so I don't let them go off the call. You know, if they were a yes, then it's like, okay, let's the first step is to buy your cryptocurrency, you know, download Binance, you know, do this, and then
do it with them on the spot, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I do it with them. Yeah. So download this, you know, I'm going to send you a link, you know, download that, get your ID done on there. So, and then, you know, we'll go and buy the crypto. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's not been easy buying crypto these days.
Oh, no.
It is a bit of a mission, but you know, just got to find ways around it. So yeah, so you know, all that's done, and then all that's left is once a crypto is bought, that's when I then send them the Weavy Global link. I don't send the link until the crypto is bought.
Look at that. That's like super prepared, right? So they've already bought their crypto. That's as committed as you're going to get. So then the sign up process is pretty straightforward after that. So I love one thing you said there, really important. Box it off. For me, I hear close the deal, all right, in old language. Box it off. Like the whole purpose of all of this is to cross the T's, dot the I's, but get the result done. Don't leave it hanging. When you leave it hanging, everything that could go wrong absolutely goes wrong in the 24 hours after a presentation. It's Murphy's Law. Hence why, if they like what they've seen, get them in. All right. I would go as far as saying, I do this often. When people have questions, I'll say, listen, I'll answer all of those questions later. That's all part of training. Let's get you started first. Let's get your account up and running. Let's get you set up, and then I'll go through the questions. There's going to be loads more where that came from. So unless they are decision-making questions, fair enough. A lot of the questions will be logistical questions. We'll deal with that later. That's part of the training. I'll come around to that. What do you need to know? Write this down as well. What more do you need to know to get yourself in? Very powerful. What more do you need to know to get yourself in? It's another temperature taker. Nothing. Okay, good. Let's get you on board. Or I need to know whatever it might be. But it's, to be honest, there's not much more they need to know, because the presentation is designed in such a way that there's nothing else they need to know to get themselves in. There is nothing else. That's it. So this is a very powerful question. What more do you need to know? And the only thing you should ever talk about was what was on the presentation. Nothing outside of it, really. Yeah. Very, very good. Dizzy.
Yeah. I had a follow-up call yesterday with one of my team's guests, and she seemed like the perfect candidate, into crypto, involved in lots of different things. And I thought she would have come in, but her objection was she's already invested in lots of other little projects. So I left her to it. I thought, I'm not gonna try and beg you to come in.
Yeah.
She'd seen the due diligence, and she thinks she has stuff that's similar, which I said that what we have is unparalleled in the marketplace, but I didn't want to turn it into a my deal versus whatever she's doing. So I just
do that. Yeah.
I just stopped it at that point and said, look, if you change your mind in the future, you know where we are.
Brilliant.
Was that the right thing to do?
Again, every scenario is different. So I wasn't there, so I don't know. It's not like it's the right thing to do. You've got a lot of experience under your belt, so I'm going to trust that it was the right thing to do. And you know, it's what you feel genuinely in your heart is the right thing to do at that time, right? I'm all for not getting into a battle. It's not about, my penis is bigger than your penis. You don't want to get into that conversation at all, because you're just going to offend people, upset them. They're going to get defensive about what they're already doing. They love what they're doing already, just like you love what you're doing. They love what they're doing. So you have to respect and appreciate that when they do all of that, just love and appreciate where they're at. And yeah, you did that perfectly. Like, look, if things change, if you change your mind, if you want to know more, leave it open. Never close the door. Never ruin the relationship. Never slam the door shut on them. Never tell them that what they're doing is crap and what you've got is the best thing in the world. You don't need to do any of that stuff. Keep the conversation open. So would you mind if we get back in touch maybe in a few weeks' time and just retouch base again? And then now you've got that ongoing back and forth conversation. The fact of the matter is, and I want to just touch on this as well, and it's not from a place of arrogance. It's from a place of confidence. If you don't know that you've got the deal, you need to know you've got the deal. Like, we are the only blockchain / crypto opportunity in the world today, as it stands, that has history and is set up and structured in the way that it is, and is prepared for the market, for where the market is right now, and for where the market is going next. Like, it's everything lined up to a T. These guys are masterminds of this space, and you know that because when they speak, you can hear it. So you want to draw on that confidence, yeah? So knowing that when you're speaking, you shouldn't have to say it. They will know from how you speak and how you deliver that you've got all the answers. And that's the thing. We've got the answers. Every other deal, it takes 5 minutes to have them umming and ahhing and not having answers. 5 minutes, no answers. And the biggest one is lack of transparency in all of them. You don't need to get into anything far before they realize that they don't have any transparency in whatever it is that they're doing. And therefore, when there's no transparency, we know, life tells us 99.9% of the time, it's ticking. The less transparency, the quicker the ticking comes to an end. Yeah. So just know that what we've got, it already wins anyway. Focus on that more than anything else. The transparency, the history, the regulation, the setup, how they've put themselves together. All right, Dr. Vinod.
Hi. When I talk to my client, all 58 of them, I never talk about crypto because I don't think they understand.
Go on, tell us. I love this.
Crypto will come when they started making money, when they made 200, 300, 400. I said, look, we can buy crypto with the Bitcoin, with the money that you have got. So am I doing something wrong?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. The simpler you can keep this, the easier it duplicates. So again, just a quick reminder to everybody. Here's Dr. Vinod.
I take a piece of paper and write 1,000. And I say, I'll give you 10% per month. That is €100 per month for next 900 days. Collect your money in 10 months and then go home and have 2 years free ride. That's what I do. And then I put my envelope away.
Lovely. Always carry an envelope.
It's a rental income. Just a rental. I take a piece of paper and just write it. I say, this is what I do. And you don't have to do anything else. If anybody wants to know more, ask them to come for the presentation.
Beautiful. Look at the simplicity of that. And again, I don't even know if you're doing this consciously or not, Dr. Vinod, but the power of demonstration is priceless. So you can tell somebody that I can help you make 10% a month. But when you pull out an envelope and you write it on a piece of paper, you write 1,000, you're already adjusting the mind. We're visual creatures. You've got their attention, you've got their focus, you've got them engaged, You're writing a number down. They're paying attention. You've got their attention. That whole thing, like I said, I don't know if you're doing it consciously or not, but it's actually a process, and it works beautifully because you're engaging them. It's not just auditory. You're engaging all of their senses. You're getting their visual engagement going. You're writing a physical number. So you're already planting suggestion in their mind. 1,000 will earn you 100 a month, 10%. You can get that 10 months. You know, everyone understands that 10% a month for 10 months. In 10 months, you'll have your money back. And then you get 2 years of great gravy. Boom, free ride, done. Very visual, very simple, very powerful. No mention of crypto, no mention of anything. Just two friends talking about some numbers on an envelope. Love it. Music to my ears. All right, nice and easy. Like I say, why? Because this is before the presentation. So it's just you talking to a friend. Nothing wrong with that at all. If you like these numbers, if you like this envelope, if you like the conversation we just had, then they'll come to a presentation. Beautiful. Love that. Well done.
No, my next question is, you like it? Okay, right. Let's fill up this form. Give me your driving license, front and the back, and I need your selfie, and we're done. That's it.
Done. Can you see how it's layman's, isn't it? It's layman's terms. Get your driving
That's all
license
we do.
out.
I say, have you got your driving license with you? Yeah, let's keep it here. I'll take a selfie front and the back, and I'll take your selfie, and that's it, you're in. And how would you like to pay?
There you go. All assumed close. Dr. Vinod is a master at the craft, right? You reminded me of a time, Dizzy will get this. You reminded me of a time we used to, this was years ago in the early days, right? We were selling a product. It was just on £1,700 for a product. And it was a 3-year membership to a private club. And we'd do the presentation. And at the end of the presentation, we'd do an interview to get them in. And during the interview, it was hilarious. So imagine this is a live event that people have driven to. They've sat through a 3 to 4 hour presentation. They then have an interview at the back end, and we'd look them straight in the eye and say, have you brought the cash with you? Just asking that question. Who carries £1,700 cash in their pocket 20 odd years ago? Nobody. We know they haven't got the cash in their pocket. It's obvious they haven't got the cash in their pocket, but we'd ask the question anyway, because it shows intention. Have you got the cash with you? And they go, huh, what? No, I haven't got the cash with me. Oh, okay. Leads to the next question. Let's arrange to get the payment. Yeah. So, you know, that whole assumptive close, right? Yeah, let's get, you've got your driving license with you. Yeah. Driving license, yes, everyone's got their driving license with them. Okay, good. You're leading them into the process. Because people, look, again, just understand psychology of people. People do not proactively progress their life. Just think about that for a second. People do not proactively progress their life. Nobody asks for a pay rise. 99.9% of people will go through their entire career and never once ask for a pay rise. They'll take it when it comes, if it comes, but they'll never ask. It's insane, isn't it? And the handful that do, guess what? 9 out of 10 times, they're the ones that get promoted. They're the ones that get what they want. But most people are not progressing their life proactively. They're reacting. They're waiting for somebody else to do it for them. So just understanding that people want success, but they're not going to do anything by themselves. We often make that mistake that we think people are like us. When I say us, I'm talking about entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are a different breed. Entrepreneurs are self-starters. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. Entrepreneurs are decision makers. Entrepreneurs are proactive. But most people are not entrepreneurs. And we forget. So we think if we send a link to someone, of course they're going to sign up, and of course they're going to buy their Bitcoin, and of course they're going to fund their account, of course they're going to buy the package. No, they're not going to do any of those things. They're not going to do, they want to. They'll tell you, yeah, I love it. I'm in. I want to do this. But if you don't hold their hand and do it with them, they're going to fall through the net. They just are. It's just, that's the way it goes. They will fall through the net. They are their worst enemies. And once they fall through the net, you literally have to fish for them again. You have to go through the whole process all over again just to get them signed up. After you've already done the hard work, you have to do it twice. So hence why you want to box it off. Hence why you want to close the deal. Hence why you want to get them over the line. Hence why you got to get to that point of making a decision and acting on the decision, following through, getting it done. And that's where leadership begins. Leadership isn't about standing in front of the room, in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people. Leadership is about holding their hand on the first baby steps. Okay, right, here's the next step. Here's the next step. Go to this link in Binance, open an account, go and buy some Bitcoin. Literally, step by step, it's baby steps. You are leading that conversation. You're leading the process the whole way. And that's how you get business done. So many business deals are lost because we forget to hold their hand in the most crucial stages. All right. So cause the result. Don't wait for the result. Be cause in the result. This is like mastery we're talking about here, right? So there's a big, big power in understanding the decision-making process of a human being and the follow-through process and how you can support those things. Never get people to do what they don't want to do. Very important, because that will backfire on you. Always confirm right through the sales process. Confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Confirm that they're comfortable, confirm that they're ready, confirm that they want in, confirm that it's their decision, confirm that you are supporting what they are wanting. All right? You shouldn't be manipulating, you shouldn't be forcing, you shouldn't be making them uncomfortable. It's not about all of that stuff. Your job is to support them in, not bully them in or force them in. All right? So this is where it becomes a fine art, and that's why it is a fine art. Our job, and that's why I always say that if you come from a place of wanting to make a difference, then all of this comes naturally. If you come from a place of self-serving, self-centeredness, that's where the messy stuff happens, where it's all about me. It's all about me, and I don't care what I have to do to get you to do the next thing, as long as it serves me. That's a position that you've taken in your subconscious mind that will eventually catch up with you and bite you in the ass when it's all about you. When it's all about them, that's servant-based leadership. When you're leading, when you're serving to lead or leading to serve, that's when you're looking after them. That's when you've got their best interest at heart. There's transparency there. There's authenticity there. There's genuineness there. There's trust there. You know, it's a whole different set of dynamics that are at play. All right. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Like where you come from makes all of the difference in how their experience and their journey goes. All right. So brilliant. Anyone else? We're about wrapped up. We've exactly. Well, just a touch over.
I just told somebody that the token goes up tomorrow, and if they haven't got it, and now they're going to jump on a Zoom with me. So
boom, there you go. Remind everyone in your organization.
I've just reminded some people I invited, and I was like, I've been so busy with my birthday.
Yeah.
So
today's the last day.
Yeah, last day.
So yeah, get those last minute. I had one yesterday, actually, just got themselves a ton of Zen as well. They'd already had a huge cloud minting program, and they added another whack yesterday of Zen, the multi-service box. So again, a beautiful thing about our business. You sell the first product once, and then you can go back again a day, 2 days, a week, a month later, doesn't matter. And when they've amassed another chunk of change, whether it's through their daily minting or through their wages or whatever other means they've got it, when they've got an extra 500 or 5,000 or whatever amount it might be, plant the seed when they're signed up for the cloud minting, remind them that the Zenit is another product that is a must-have product. And, that's a second sale done. Cool. So follow up. People will always want to top up their Zenit because it's a rock star project. So that is almost a limitless project, that one. Everybody wants Zenit. Everybody that understands it wants as much as they possibly can get of it. Say that again.
I'm in love with that.
Absolutely. It's an absolute gem of a product. So today is the last day to grab it at 166, I think.
155 euro.
155. And then it goes up to
71.
171. So you're saving 16p or cents, 16
On the
cents.
550, you get an extra 30 tokens if you buy it tonight.
And 30 tokens, if they go up to even 30 quid, is a grand. An extra grand, even if it's a 30 quid. Bearing in mind that these guys reckon they'll take this up to 300, right? So I'm saying 30. If it goes up to 30, that's a grand. If it goes up like it's got the potential to do, this could be an absolute home run for all of your contacts, all of your friends. They're going to praise you forever. They're going to thank you forever for getting them to buy those few now at this front end. Sue.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, just on that note as well, it's 15 days for the 2.0 before we start on the 3.0 at the 10%. So guys, 15 days left on the 10% cloud minting programs. After that, it goes to 8.5.
Yes.
So you want to be making the most of the next 15 days and
absolutely
getting it out there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sue, for that reminder as well. So yeah, we've got 2 weeks left of maximizing the minting rewards for ourselves before that 10% is split between an 8.5 and a 1.5, and it worked very, very, very differently to the full 10 that we get now. So take advantage of the 10% deal while it lasts, and that's
until we get the machines, and then it's 100% ours.
Yeah, but the machine will be still 8.5 and 1.5 split, so you'll have to back up the machine to get the extra 1.5. Yeah. So so just take advantage of the next 2 weeks of the promotion of 10% average per month. Very good. Thank you, ladies and gents. As always, it's been a pleasure hanging with you, and I love the fact that we all had our little interactive session today, learning from real experiences on the ground of what works for people. I hope you got some nuggets and gems. Use them. They're not for show. They're not for display. Use them. Pick up the phone, speak to people, and try them out. Thank you. Lots of love. Mwah. Dizzy, is that a hand up?
Thank you.
Thank you.